Happy Saturday morning. I'm very excited for you to be here with me in the virtual space. This is my first class on the Yoga Works Yoga Tree live stream. So very excited to still hold the space for myself to practice, for you to practice. We're all in this together. So just that gentle reminder. And yeah, thanks so much for making the commitment to yourself to be here. That's sometimes definitely the hardest step. So yeah, coming to a comfortable seat, we'll start. So I do have my blocks today. If you don't have a block handy, just a blanket you can fold up so you have enough support underneath the hips. So here's my block. So if you're coming into Sukhasana, cross-legged seat, just making sure that the hips are higher than the knees. And then if you'd like to come to a kneel, that's an alternative option. You're just going to energetically bring the inner thighs in together. Inner parts of the feet are resting just up against the block. So just taking a few moments to tune into what feels most supportive for you. So every day, of course, is new, is different. And we welcome those variances by shifting our bodies accordingly. So if you initially come to Sukhasana and find that that's not the place that makes you feel most settled, then switch it up and maybe come into Virasana as an alternative. We're just going to take a moment to interlace the fingers and create some figure eights. So just starting to notice sensation in the place of the wrist. So maybe if we've been working at our laptops throughout the week, maybe relieving some of this tension. And then we're just going to start to bring the right palm forward, taking the left fingers to pull the right fingers towards you. And just starting to notice that sensation occurring at the base of the wrists. Yeah, we'll take one more breath on this side. And then we'll switch it up to the other. So the left palm reaching forward, right fingers come to pull the left fingers towards you. And just starting to notice how your breath provides that space to release, soften, maybe the fingers come a little closer towards the body. Great. And then we're going to just slowly begin to circle the wrists freely. And then from here, just slowly bringing the palms to the tops of the thighs. To ground down deeply through your sits bones, long length through the spine. And the upper part of the back, just slightly leaning back to open up the shoulders. We'll take a full breath in. And exhale, open mouth. Now from those initial movements, now starting to notice change occurring. So the change from effort, state of doing, to now the shift to just simply being. And we just start to give ourselves permission to notice what bubbles up, what begins to surface. And we really inquire and sense, what does it feel like now in this moment to be still? And how I always remind my students, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's just something that's bubbling up, something that's surfacing. And as we awaken ourselves into the early part of our day, just starting to become more acquainted with the present moment and the space that surrounds your body. So starting to pick up on cues like temperature, the space, and whatever room you're in. The subtlety of sound, where we locate sound, what is the quality of sound. Potentially picking up on scent. In the presence of light, so whether light is filtering in through your gaze with the eyes open or through the eyelids. And then starting to zoom in to come closer to the body and just begin to bring more attention to foundation. So places in the body that are forming connection, contact with the earth, those heaviest weighted points. And then noticing parts of the body that are making connection with other parts of the body. So the palms resting gently on tops of the thighs. Noticing even the toes touching, the lips connecting. And now starting to bring more consciousness to your breathing. So the natural flow and the rhythm of the inhale moving in and the exhale moving out. We just start to become really engaged with these repetitive cycles of one breath as it flows into the next breath. We start to notice with more awareness where the breath starts, where the breath meets the middle point, where it meets the full capacity, and then how that breath again starts to repeat. And so the breath is one of the most powerful anchors to remind us that we were here in a body well alive. So as long as we're breathing, we are well. As long as we're here in this body, here in this breath, all is well. And so we use this breath as a mechanism throughout our practice so that if ever we get distracted, if ever we feel pulled out of the body, if we get pulled into the thoughts, the emotions, which can be quite natural, just simply return back to this breath. And we'll start with some pranayama to cue up the beginning of our practice. So start to take an exhale, releasing the breath, moving it down to the full base of the belly. And then we'll start to inhale through the nose, sipping breath in for 1, 2, pause 3. From the top of the breath, slow release 1, 2, and 3. Again, sipping breath in through the nose, 1, 2, pause 3. Exhale, slow 1, middle breath 2, release 3. Again, sipping breath 1, 2, pause at the collarbone. Releasing from the collarbone 1, middle of the breath 2, pause 3. Now we're going to start to evolve, bring our arms into a cactus. So pulling the elbows forward, broad and wide through the fingers. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths. So inhale, and then exhale, open mouth. Again, inhale, and exhale. One more, inhale, and exhale. This time, inhale, gathering the arms up overhead, palms press. And then exhale, hands to heart. Anjali Mudra. So as you feel your hands present in front of your heart, this bowing to ourselves in this mudra, this honoring to ourselves in this mudra, and as a way to truly connect. So really, why are you here on your mat this morning? Just asking that simple question. And again, we give ourselves permission to enable whatever to surface. So beginning to form that intention for your practice. So what feels meaningful for you to explore, what feels like a true north for you this morning. So again, similar to the breath, we can return home to this intention at any point in the practice. Taking another breath in and another breath out. And if the eyes are closed, slowly inviting light back in. We'll move the palms, begin to shift, coming to the front of your mat. We'll all meet in a tabletop. So as you come into your tabletop, allowing the shoulders to be directly over the wrists and then the hips directly over the knees. We're just going to wake up the body with some opening cat and cow. So inhale, moving through cow. And then exhale, pulling the navel in towards the spine cat. Again, inhale, broadening through the heart, shoulders. And then exhale, pulling the energy in. Again, like this, inhale. Now start to find a neutral spine. We're going to tuck the left ball of the toe into your mat, glide, extend the legs straight. Now firmly grounded through the left palm, begin to reach the right palm up. And then exhale, we're going to start to thread the arm underneath the left, right side of the head lowers to the earth. So maybe this left hand stays right here. Maybe it comes up. And then choice in that back leg, maybe keeping it where it is or maybe beginning to lift, your choice. Focusing on the breath. Great, we'll take one more breath. Good, and exhale. If that left hand is forward, bring it back. And then we're gonna pause here for a moment, start to come into a plank pose. So again, evenly grounded through the palms, pulling the navel in. Taking another breath. Good, and then exhale. We're gonna slowly this time lower the left knee down. Good. From here, we're gonna start to take your next inhale, reaching the left arm up. And then exhale like we did on the right, start to thread it through. Now again, with that right hand, maybe it stays rooted down. Maybe you begin to reach it forward. And in that back leg, maybe it stays or maybe you begin to lift it. Focusing on the breath. And take one more breath. Good, and then slowly bringing that right hand in, we'll meet together, both palms grounded, back into plank pose. Now take a breath here, inhale. Exhale, we're just lowering down the knees, keep the navel in. Using your breath, straightening heels back. And then exhale, lowering down. Good, again, inhale. And exhale, lowering the knees down. This time, inhale, cow. And then exhale, contract, pull it in. Now we're just gonna get a little more expressive with our cat-cow. So maybe the shifting comes forward and back a little bit more. So just starting to get into a wave-like motion. And again, no right way of moving, no wrong way. Until eventually we're gonna start to build some momentum until we come back into downward facing dog. So your first downward facing dog, just getting into the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, pedaling out the feet, maybe looking under one shoulder as you move, looking under the other shoulder. And then just start to find a place where you're evenly rooted through both feet, evenly grounded through both palms. So it's not quite as important to get the heels down at this point as it is to lift the tailbone high, chest coming closer to the tops of the thighs. So let's feel into that a little bit more. Peeling up to the balls of the toes, bend the knees. As you bend the knees, see if you can lift the tailbone higher, chest coming closer to the tops of the thighs. Taking another breath. And then exhale, slowly lowering the heels down. This time we're going to peel up, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. And then inhale, the heels are going to knock over to the right. It's a little bit of a twist happening here. We're going to come back, inhale. And then exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, heels knock over to the left. Exhale, pause, stay. Back up to the balls of the toes, square the hips. And then we're going to bend the knees, look forward. Slow walk to the front of your mat, release. So now we're in our Uttanasana. So I'm going to face you guys for this. So bringing the feet today to the outer edges of your mat, so it's a little wider. And then we're going to grab for opposite elbows, finding a little sway to start. Great. And just allowing yourself to notice if you need to shake the head, yes, shake the head, no. If you need a fluttering of the lips, Starting to let that release. Now just going to bring the hands down and just allow yourself to settle into stillness. Notice the state of stillness. All right, so if you have a block, have that block nearby. We're going to take it in front, and then if you don't have a block, just focusing on tenting in the fingers. So bending in the left leg, right leg straight, we're going to come into a little twist. So we're pressing it a little bit into the outer edge of the left foot here. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale, slowly release. We're going to come over to the other side. So that left leg nice and straight, we're trying to line up the shoulders. And in our twist, that rotation happening from the navel. Taking one more breath. Good, exhale down. Okay, for a moment, we're gonna come into Malasana. So the toes are out, heels are in. So with that block, if you still have it, maybe you bring it right underneath the hips. So pressing the palms together, using the outer arms to open up the thighs. Just a couple breaths here. Especially at the start of the day, this can be a really grounding pose, Malasana. Getting into Muladhara, that chakra which governs security, safety. And taking another breath. Good, and then exhale, we're gonna bring the hands down, hike the hips to point the toes forward. We'll go ahead and remove that block. Now find a hips width distance, so the hips are right in line with the feet here. And we'll take a halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, fold, release. We're gonna root to rise up to standing, arms out, palms pressed. And then exhale, hands to heart, Samasthiti. Starting to take a moment to close the eyes, feeling into Tadasana. So evenly grounded through the feet, strength through the thighs, soft open heart, soft face. Good. Now we're going to start to remove the palms. They're going to come down by the hips, and then we're going to evolve back into that cactus where we were before. So we're going to explore a little bit of pedaling and balance with the feet and the ankles. So we're going to bend the right leg, and so we're actually peeling up that right heel. Okay, so on the inhale, we're going to come up to both balls of toes, arms up overhead. And then exhale, we're going to switch, lowering the right heel, bend in the left. Good. Again, inhale. Exhale, lowering left heel, bend in the right. Again, inhale. Good. Exhale. This next one, inhale. And then exhale, stay. Palms come together, passing through your heart, checking in with the balance. Good. Building strength in the ankles. With control, slowly lowering the heels down, we're going to come right into Utkatasana, chair pose. So the weight's coming back in the hips, the navel's pulling in, and then the biceps are framing the ears. Few breaths here, starting to sink a little deeper in the hips. We'll take an inhale, and then exhale, fold, release. Halfway lift, so hands come forward to the earth, the shins or the tops of the thighs. Focus on rolling the shoulders back and down, navel and crown of the head forward. One more inhale. And exhale, fold, release. We're going to plant the palms, step the feet back. We're returning into our plank pose. This time, inhale. Exhale, lowering the knees. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, bending the elbows. So the hips are hiked up. We're hugging the elbows in towards the ribs. Next, inhale, Bhujangasana. And exhale, slowly release. Inhale, pressing into the palms, lifting chest and head. And exhale, slowly release. Again, pressing into the palms, lifting chest, head. Take a moment to pause here. Can you squeeze the elbows in a little bit more? Lift a little higher. And slowly release. Pressing into the hands, pressing back, we're coming into puppy. So the arms are going to come a little further forward. And then we're just swaying from side to side, getting into the outer hip. Taking a full breath in. Good. And exhale, open mouth. Transitioning through tabletop, lifting hips high, downward facing dog. I'm actually going to come over here. All right, so we're going to start to extend the right leg back in space. So starting with square hips, and then notice what happens when you peel the right hip up. Take an inhale, and then exhale, find that alignment again. So square hips, square shoulders. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, knee into nose. Heel comes back. Inhale. Exhale, contract, knee into nose. Again, inhale. Exhale, knee into nose. We're going to lower the right shin down. We're going to lift the left leg up. Now, evenly grounded through the hands, start to reach the right arm forward. Good. Take another breath. Exhale, lowering back ball of toe, sweeping the right arm around. So starting to get into this motion of twists. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down. Begin to ground down in the left heel. Begin to lift the left arm high. So the shoulders stacking up here. And then getting a little into the side body as you reach the left fingers towards the front of the room. Coming back, inhale. Exhale, lowering both hands, square off the hips. Pull the right knee in. Inhale, lifting the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Now taking a moment here to check in. Do you want to move in the ankle? Do you want to move in the hip? So whatever feels nice, whatever feels nourishing here. Good, we'll take one more inhale. And exhale, lowering that foot down. Let's come into plank pose. Inhale. This time exhale, lowering all the way down, elbows in. Inhale, lifting chest, lifting head. And exhale, slowly release. Now this time, we're going to take the fingers off of your mat, tenting, elbows point up. Inhale, lifting chest, lifting head. And exhale, slowly release. Again, inhale, lifting chest and head. And exhale, slowly release. Hands come underneath shoulders, pressing back. We're in that puppy again. So wash out any tension, taking a full breath. And exhale. Good. Transitioning through the tabletop, lifting hips high. Again, downward facing dog. Extending the left leg back in space. So again, finding the squareness, drilling that left hip down, and then open it for a moment. And then we're going to drill it back down again. Taking a breath here, inhale. Exhale, contract, knees into nose. Inhale, extending. And exhale, pulling in. Again, inhale. Exhale. We're going to lower that shin down, evenly grounded through the hands, lifting the right leg back. When you feel stabilized, checking in, lifting the left hand off. Good. Begin to lower right ball of toe, sweeping left arm around and up, coming into that twist. So again, that rotation happening from the navel line, rest of the upper body follows. One more breath. Exhale, both hands down. Pull the knee in. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Whew, touching my little tapered root here. Then any type of movement that you did on the right, seeing if you can mirror it here on the left. So again, it's that process of listening to the body. Where are the tight places? How can you support them? And then bringing both feet down. We're going to peel up to the balls of the toes. Bend the knees, look forward. Walk or float to the front of your mat, release. Let's take a halfway lift. Inhale and exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms out, palms press. Checking in with that balance again. Exhale up to the tips of the toes, hands come to heart. From here, can you evolve? Coming into the cactus. Slowly lowering heels down, evolve back into Uttanasana. One breath, inhale. Exhale, fold, release. Halfway lift, inhale, and exhale, fold. Begin to plant the palms, step the feet back, plank pose. Inhale, lifting right ball of toe up. Exhale, lowering it down. Inhale, lifting left ball of toe up. Exhale, lower it down. One more each side. Inhale. And exhale, keep the navel drawing in. You have the strength. Inhale. And exhale. Press away from the mat. Inhale. Exhale, first vinyasa. Lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, pressing through and up. And exhale. Hips high, downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. Noticing your foundations. Using the breath to cleanse out any irregularities in your breath. Rebalancing. All right, on your next inhale, reaching the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Square off, inhale. Exhale, foot comes through and between both hands. Release the back knee, top of the foot. Now we're going to start to lift the arms high, coming into our low lunge. Now right away, start to pull the navel in, draw the right hip back, bend maybe a little deeper from there. We're going to start to gather the palms up overhead. Inhale. As you exhale, the fingers point back. Still playing around with this variation. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pointing the fingers back. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pointing the fingers back. Okay, so from here, start to allow the elbows to come out. We're making a little pillow for the back of our head. Interlace the fingers. Let the head fall into the hands for a moment. Good. Now start to realign, pull the navel in, and then cactus in the arms. Gathering the palms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, hands lowered down. Curl back, ball of toe, right into plank pose. Vinyasa, cleanse it out. Always remembering at any point, you can modify, you can skip a flow and just come right into down dog. Inhale, lifting the left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Square it off, inhale. Exhale, foot comes through, release back knee, top of foot. Allow the arms to rise when you feel stabilized. Now again, notice the navel pulling in, drawing that left hip back. Gathering the palms, inhale. Exhale, fingers point back. Inhale, finding length through the arms. Exhale, bend, fingers point back. Again, inhale. Exhale, fingers point back. Now with the elbows hugging in, now allow them to come out. Interlacing the fingers, allow the head to fall into the hands. Realign, pull the navel in, head comes back, cactus in the arms. Inhale, gather palms up overhead. Exhale, hands lower. Curling back, balls of toes, right into plank pose, vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Very nice. Taking a next inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. This time, inhale, square off. Exhale, knee comes to right tricep. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, knee again to right tricep. Inhale again. Exhale, knee to right tricep. We're going to pause here. Foot comes to the outer edge of the mat. Start to release the back knee, top of the foot. Ground into the left hand or tent up to the fingers or hands to your block. Reaching the right arm high. Now take a breath here, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna use the heel of the right hand, inner part of the thigh, and then a little bit of a lean back here. Focusing on your breath. Taking another inhale. Good, and exhale, slowly coming out. We're gonna heel toe right foot back to your center line. Gonna come into baby Hanuman, so half splits. So I'm gonna show out with blocks. You can have blocks on either side of the hips. And then focus again, drawing that right hip back, long length through the spine. So the tailbone is reaching in one direction, crown of the head is reaching in the other. And allowing these still moments to really give you that permission to tune back more deeply into your breathing, where you can balance it out. All right, find a rebend. We'll move our blocks, ground into the hands, feet step back, Vinyasa. Through and up. And exhale, hips high. Taking your left leg up, inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Square off, inhale. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Inhale, finding length. Exhale again, knee to left tricep. One more, inhale. Exhale, take a moment, and then foot comes to outer edge. Release the back knee, top of the foot. Now again, if you need that extra support in the block, ground the hand, or tent the fingers, reaching the left arm high. Taking another inhale. Exhale, heel of the left hand, inner part of the thigh. Open up the hip, little bit of a lean back. One more inhale. Good. Exhale, we're gonna bring both hands down. Remove the blocks or grab them for your baby Hanuman on the left side. So drawing the left hip back, crown of the head forward, tailbone reaching back. And we always, in our poses, we want to find that balance of where are we meeting the edge, not shying away from it, not pushing past it, but where can you lean into it? Where can you breathe into it? One more inhale. Good. Exhale, we're going to bring yourself back into low lunge. Blocks removed, plant palms, Vinyasa. All right. From downward facing dog, inhale, reaching the right leg up. Exhale, foot comes through. We're going to keep the back heel up. Arms come back by the hips. Now allow yourself to feel that external rotation in the shoulders, still drawing that right hip back. And now we're going to start to extend, reaching the fingers forward, biceps framing the ears. Start to rise, coming into your crescents. Now start to gather the palms, inhale. As you exhale, as we did in low lunge, fingers point back, but we're also going to bend the back knee. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Taking one more inhale. This time, exhale, we're going to come into the twist. Left hand in step of the right foot. Reaching, inhale. Exhale, both hands down. Feet step back, Vinyasa. Taking always that reset and down dog before moving into the left. Inhale. Exhale, foot comes through. Keep the back heel up. Arms back by the hips. Now again, drawing that left hip back and down. Externally rotating the shoulders. Arms reach forward, still keeping the navel in. And then lifting up, coming into your crescent. Gathering the palms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, bend back knee, fingers back. Inhale, straighten back leg, arms. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, right hand instep of the left foot, evolve into the twist. Taking a breath, inhale. Exhale, both hands down. Feet step back, Vinyasa. All right, downward facing dog. We're going to peel up to the balls of the toes. Bend the knees, look forward, walk or float. Front of your mat, release. You can come into a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now bring the heels to touch. Bring the toes to touch. We're gonna come right back into Utkatasana. So the weight coming back in the heels. Now we tested in with a little bit of balance earlier, lifting the heels. This time we're gonna take hands to the heart. Start to shift weight to the balls of the toes, lifting the heels. What happens there? Good, taking another breath. Exhale, lowering the heels, maybe a little deeper. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, rinse it out. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now just take a moment. You need to shake anything out through the hands. Shake the head yes and no. Feeling free to do so. You need to flutter the lips. All right, so let's come into a hips width distance. We're gonna come into Utkatasana. Okay, starting to take the hands to the heart, and then we're gonna shift weight over to that left standing leg. Start to peel up to the right toes, and then we're gonna lift up. So the right knee is pointing up, arms high. And then exhale, we're gonna come right back. Again, inhale, peel up, lift up. And exhale, coming right back in your seat. Inhale again, lift up. Exhale, coming back into your seat. This time, inhale, lift up. I'm gonna face here now. Exhale, we're gonna come into warrior three, airplane. So I gotta come forward. Back leg, stand it straight behind you. Micro bend in the front knee with control. Crescent lunge. Gathering the palms, inhale. Exhale, both hands down. Inhale, lift the back leg. Exhale, both feet meet. Halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, fold. So we're gonna do what we just did. So Utkatasana, chair pose. Start to bring the weight over to the right standing leg. Peel up to the left toes. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, right back. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, right back. Inhale, that transfer of weight. Good, and then this time we're gonna slowly come back into airplane. Micro bend in the front knee with control coming into crescent. Gather the palms, inhale. Exhale, hands lower down. Inhale, lifting left leg up. Exhale, both feet meet. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Let's take the feet to the outer edges of the mat again. Heels in, toes out. Vinyasa. So maybe this time you can work without a block, or maybe still the block is underneath the hips. Just take a moment to reset. Take another inhale. Good, and then exhale, both hands down, hike the hips, toes point forward, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. We're gonna plant the palms, step the feet back, Vinyasa. All right, just do a little time check. Beautiful. So next breath, inhale, reaching the right leg up. Exhale, foot comes through, ground back heel, Virabhadrasana 2. Now we're gonna take time to evolve the arms again, that cactus. Today, inhale, try to bring the backs of the shoulders closer together, and then exhale, button the ribs in. Inhale, open, and exhale, pull it in. Again, inhale, and exhale. Now from here, we're gonna point the fingers forward, and then we're just gonna open, so the outer right arm is hooking against the outer right thigh, and then the left arm is reaching up. Start to evolve by bending that arm or coming into modified side angle. From here, we're gonna come into reverse, inhale. Exhale, windmilling the hands down. Pivot the back heel right into the twist. Inhale. Exhale, both hands down. Feet step back, Vinyasa. All right, inhale, reaching the left leg up. Exhale, foot comes through. I'm gonna face you guys over this way. Okay, so in our pose, start to evolve in the arms, trying to kiss the backs of the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, button the ribs. Inhale, open, and exhale. Again, inhale, and exhale. Straighten the arms, fingers point forward, and then we're gonna open up again. So the outer left arm anchored out of left thigh, right fingers reaching up. Start to bend in the left elbow, and then just make sure that this shoulder is drawing away from the ear, not coming towards it. All right, right into reverse. Inhale. Exhale, windmilling the hands down. Pivot back heel, evolve into the twist. Taking a breath. Exhale, both hands down, feet step back. Vinyasa. Okay. Back up to the balls of the toes, bend the knees, look forward. Walk or float, front of your mat, release. Coming into a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. All right, so we're gonna come into Utkatasana. You guys are getting a lot of the quad strengthening stuff today. Okay, so we're gonna do what we just did. Peel up, inhale, knee up. Exhale, we're gonna come into that, it's like a curtsy. I don't really know what this pose is, but I love it. It feels really good. Okay, so we're gonna come a little deeper in the hips. We're gonna take the hands forward today. Now shift forward to the tips of the fingers. We're gonna try to bring the right foot a little closer. We're gonna take this right hand, interlace first two fingers around right big toe. Just check in, extend the leg out to the side. So this is a real strengthening one, good. Bend both knees, come back. Inhale, and exhale, release. Let's shake that one out, head yes, no. If you need to shake out the hands, if you need to flutter the lips. Okay, Utkatasana, chair pose. All right, peel up. Inhale. Exhale, coming into that curtsy variation. Now arms come forward. Bring a little weight to the tips of the fingers. We're gonna pull the left foot in just slightly. Now keeping the right hand grounded, interlacing first two fingers of the left hand, left toe extended out. Just for a few breaths. One more inhale. Good. Exhale, both feet meet. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're going to return to what we did earlier. So have your blocks around. Either tenting in the fingers or hand to a block. Right leg straight. Bend in the left. Right arm reaches high. Now today, if you'd like to play around with some binds, you can start to reach right arm around, fingers come to the inner crease of the left hip, or you can start to thread, bringing the left arm underneath, coming into the full bind. Watching sensation, watching the flow of your breathing. One more inhale wherever you are. Good, and exhale, both knees bend very deeply. Shake anything out before moving into the left. All right, we'll keep the left leg straight, right knee bends, starting to reach the left arm high. Taking a breath here. Exhale if you'd like to come into that half bind, wrapping the arm around. Left fingers come into the inner right crease. Now maybe here's enough, great place to be. Or again, maybe the full bind. Threading under, just making sure that that chest is still shining towards the side. We never want it to collapse, but we want it to open up. Taking one more inhale. Very nice, yogis. Exhale, both knees bend. Again, any release. Okay, remove your blocks. Hands come back forward. We're just gonna come into downward facing dog for a moment. Maybe just closing the eyes, noticing, observing the effects of your practice. Taking your next inhale to reach the right leg up. Exhale, foot comes through. We're going to ground the back heel. Arms come back by the hips. So that long line of energy from crown of the head, down the spine, down through the back leg. Interlace the fingers, lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, bowing. Now trying to pull the right hip back in space. And then if you can, try to bring the inner parts of the wrist closer together. Soft and relaxed through the head. Taking another inhale. Good. Exhale, release the grip. Hands come down. We're going to pivot the back knee, back heel. And then we're going to come into our pyramid today. So if you have those blocks, bringing them on either side of the feet or just tenting in the fingers. We're just going to shift weight forward and back. Just starting to see where the hips are in space. And then when you feel that place where the hips are as even as possible, the feet are as grounded as possible, find a nice long length through the spine. Taking another breath. And exhale, folding up and over the leg. Now in this pose, if you're experiencing a lot of sensation, really seeing if you can allow yourself to meet that sensation. So sometimes when things feel intense, where our habits start to come up, maybe we're resisting unconsciously or consciously, maybe we're attaching to or creating story. See if you can just allow yourself to witness, almost like you're experiencing that sensation in the back of the hamstring for the first time. Looking at it with curious eyes. And taking your next breath to come into a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We're going to bend the front knee, take the blocks away. Plant the palms, optional vinyasa or simply hips high. Take a moment to pause. And then next inhale, reaching the left leg up. Exhale, foot comes through. We're going to ground the back heel. Arms come back by the hips. Starting to interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, open, express the heart. And then exhale, fold. Now again, with that left hip drawing back, square hips, soft, relaxed head, inner part of the wrist coming closer together. Taking one more breath. Good, and then exhale, release. Hands come down, we're gonna bend back, knees square off hips. All 10 toes pointing forward. Grabbing your blocks again if you have them. Pyramid on the left side. So again, the shifting of weight forward, back. You can see how this starts to impact the squareness of the hips, groundedness of the feet. So find that place where both feet are grounded. Hips are square, finding long length in the spine. Crown of the head reaching forward. Taking a breath. And exhale, folding up and over the leg. And as we know through our practice, there might be a side that feels a little different in certain postures. And again, that's all information that we're gathering, that we're listening to, that we're responding to. So if a side feels like it needs some different adjustments, we accommodate that in any way that we need. Finding length through the spine. And exhale, folding up and over. Micro bend in the front knee, removing any props. Final optional vinyasa if you want to take it. Hips high, downward dog. Now starting to come down to the knees, bringing the hips back to the heels. We're going to come into Balasana. So it's your choice. The knees can be open, the knees can be in, and the arms can be long, or the arms can wrap alongside the hips. And just taking a moment to settle in. So we're starting to move from the state of effort, the doing, to just being. See if you can really surrender, soften into your mat. And the more we practice letting go, the more we create and carve out new space to let in. So intentionally right now, letting go, and then just allowing yourself to visualize something that you'd like to let in, something in this act of letting go, you're creating the space to let in, and whatever that is. Starting to lift the gaze if the arms are wrapped alongside you, bringing them forward. We're just going to roll up through the spine. And just taking a moment to pause in a kneel. Feeling open through the chest, soft in the face. Smoothing out any tension. And just notice the space around your body. Noticing the breath moving in and out of the body. And before we start to recline and lower down, lifting the palms in the space of offering. So offering out today something that you're truly grateful for, something that fills you up, gives you purpose, gives you meaning, this place that really can be a compass, can be a guide. So whenever we feel that we're steered into a wrong direction, negative thinking, those lower vibrations, we use a positive source and a higher vibration of gratitude to steer us in that right, more loving direction. All right, fluttering the eyes open. We're going to take one hand over to the side, shift the hips over, bend the knees. We're going to slowly roll all the way down to our back. So start to draw the navel in, rounding down, lowering down. Eventually, the back of the head touches backs of the arms, and then start to scoop the belly in. We're going to press up, coming into a bridge pose. Trying to keep the knees right over the ankles. Taking another breath. And exhale, slowly rolling down, one vertebrae at a time. Taking a moment to bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat, knees knock in, take a pause. And then bringing feet right back underneath the knees, scooping the belly, lifting the hips high. Maybe this time, if you'd like to roll the shoulders under, interlace the fingers, maybe the hips press up a little bit higher. Soften the face, open through the heart. Grounded through the feet. Take another breath, lifting those hips high. And then exhale, slowly rolling down, one vertebrae at a time. All right, we're gonna start to pull the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a nice big hug, realigning the spine. And just thanking your body for all of the strength it's shown during your practice this morning. Just notice, observing the natural state of your energy. If you find moments of bliss, if you find moments of santosha, contentment, lean into those, breathe into those. Now we're just gonna start to interlace first two fingers around big toes, bottoms of the feet touch, knees open. And then starting to evolve, coming into happy baby. Maybe you stay here, maybe one leg extends out, maybe you rock from side to side. So just tuning in what feels, again, supportive, what feels nourishing for your body, what's helping you to let go. And just move freely in any way. And then any final poses that your body needs. So if you feel like you want one more heart opener, if you feel like you want one more hip opener, just giving yourself the space to explore whatever that is before we start to wind down, coming into our final savasana. And so that's truly the practice when, of course, when we're guided, we have these tools that we can learn from and build on, but then really coming home to your own self. What does the body need? Trying to let that intuition come forward. You're doing anything that requires both sides, making sure that you even it out. And then starting to come into your final savasana when you're ready. I'm just feeling the bones becoming heavier, more connected with the earth. Relaxing any tension through the face, through the muscles. And just feeling that comfort of being held by the earth. So knowing that you can let go, you can release a little more, you can soften a little more. And just breathing into the space of being. And coming back to your intention. So the practice always has this way of giving ourselves this opportunity to peel back the layers of ourselves. Starts to give us space to know that here in this body, we're constantly changing, we're constantly moving through all sorts of phases of growth. And that's also happening outside of us. When things change, we learn more and more how we react to that change. And knowing that change is the ever constant, It keeps us evolving, it keeps us growing, it keeps us moving higher and higher to the best state, best version of ourselves. So with the chimes of the bells, you're welcome at this point to slowly shift out, moving the fingers, moving the toes. Of course, you're still embracing your Savasana. Feel free to stay right where you are. And if you're reclined, when you're ready, just slowly rolling over to one side of your mat. And if you are coming back to a seat, doing so slowly, doing so mindfully, taking your time. Whether you're reclined or whether you're seated at this point, bringing your right hand over your heart, bringing your left palm over your belly. Feeling this life force and flow of the breath moving in and out. This tool that's constantly keeping us moving, keeping us alive, keeping us healthy and well. And as we move out into our day and whatever form that is, however that takes shape for us, allowing yourself to remember that the practice doesn't stop here. The practice carries with us. How can we start to apply our intentions back out into our lives and into our relationships? And just allowing yourself to give a moment of stillness, to bow to yourself, bowing and honoring to all your efforts, to the arrival onto your mat this morning. Again, sometimes not the easiest part. Sometimes the hardest part is just arriving. And allowing us to receive all the gifts, all the learning, all of the new inspiration from our practice. Allow those residual effects to carry with us into our day. Either hands still staying where they are, hands to prayer, bowing our heads. Namaste. All right, thanks, yogis. All right, so I'm going to be here now every Saturday morning, 9 to 10. So I can't wait to practice with you again next weekend, and take good care. I really want to make sure that everybody knows that they are supported right now, even though there is, this interesting landscape we're exploring with the virtual space, but you are supported. We're here for you. Take very good care. I hope to see you next week. Thanks.